Hello, Internet. Those tuning in on Twitch, in the Discord, or listening to the download. It is Frazzly the Awesome Gnome. On this episode, we will be discussing Twitch streaming experiences, information from BFA, some geeky nostalgia, and more. Let's start the Gnome Train! Welcome to Frazzlecast, a podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. We are recording live from a tavern. Each week we are joined by awesome people from around Azeroth and beyond. This is episode 53, being recorded on 5/3, which for the people who don't use the US date scale, that's May 3rd. Because I was thinking, yeah, it would be a lot more confusing if you did like the, is it the European or the international date style?
I think it's European, yeah.
Whenever I see that, the dates that way, it always throws me off. But yeah, so this is May 3rd, and our guest tonight is the streamer of games, MetalXperl.
Hello.
And Polly was going to join us tonight, but something came up. So it's that fell corruption, just getting into everything.
Gul'dan's dead, though. I thought he wasn't going to be bothering us anymore.
What would it be in BFA?
Influence of the old gods.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. No more do I have to hear Gul'dan and the Legion. Dadgar, go to bed.
He has an amazing GIF, because it was pretty cool. Krista Golden had a tweet about their new book coming out, I think about a month out, and I posted the GIF of Khadgar like shimmying his shoulders and the cat.
She's done a lot of books that I didn't know, and I just want to buy them all.
Oh, they're great. I need to read more of them, but the ones I've read are great. And what's cool is because she is part of the story team at Blizzard now, she's going to really work on bringing a cohesiveness to the lore. And she said there's some stuff in BFA that she cannot talk about. Like, ooh, I'm so excited.
I know it's weird. I guess in her half, like, I guess they're kind of like interacting. Like I was talking with a coworker about this. It's like before it was kind of just like they were just making up story as they went. With like Warcraft, they stuck to lore, and then when WoW came out, it kind of went past what they had written down already. So they're like kind of retconning, like making things tie together. So it's not just like, well, in this you said one thing, but now in the game it's this.
Yeah.
So they're kind of tying it all together.
I have to say that would be one of the most difficult things would be to do all that lore. I'm creating a story in the Fraz report, and that can be difficult to remember. What did I mention? Or like, how did I do stuff? Because I'm creating my own like story in Azeroth to that show.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be too bad if you're starting off from scratch, because you can really do whatever you want. But when you have to match a topic that's already been made, that's where it can be hard.
And I have not seen the recent ones, but Doctor Who, I think, does an amazing job at retconning it, but making it feel like it was always that way. I mean, like they'll say, "Oh yeah, we did it this way, and this is why." Like, but you made that? No, we never made it up. It was all the way it was this whole time. Like,
it was like that the entire time.
You just didn't even know.
Pulls the wool over eyes.
Lore is one thing that I won't ever understand.
Oh, I love talking about lore and learning lore.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like reading a book, but better, because there's a good story to go with it.
Yeah. That's why I like World of Warcraft is just the lore when I'm learning about stuff. Like, I'm learning about, like, the Vrykul and Icecrown right now, and it's a lot of fun. Let's get into Around the Table. What have you been up to?
Well, as of late, not a whole lot of much, other than I started streaming on Twitch.
Oh, very cool.
I think it was just kind of one day I kind of woke up and went to work, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to stream tonight. And it took me like probably an hour to set it all up. Like, 'cause I had it previously set up, but I had to like fix it. The OBS I had prior was an out-of-date version that I couldn't even update, so I had to uninstall it and reinstall it.
Yep.
It was just like so weird because I tested it with recordings first to make sure it sounded good. I didn't have anything crazy, like I didn't have the game volume super loud, you couldn't hear me. And I also set it up with voice comms, like I'd be playing games with my friends and I'd just like secretly be recording so I could like hear them and hear me and hear the game and everything. And one of my friends was really good. He was like super cool about it. He was like just chilling the entire time while I was trying to get it to work.
That's always how it is you think you have it all set up and then you find out, oh no, things don't work that way? I mean, or it takes so much time to set up.
It took me like probably my 3 first days of streaming to figure it out. And even then, one of the programs I'm using, it resets every time I restart my computer. So I have to like fix it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, one of the problems I was having was with audio. I don't know why. So the first thing I was doing was just straight recording all my audio as it was going into Twitch with desktop audio.
Yeah.
Pardon the beeping. I guess there's someone else backing up their trailer. I had it set up so it would just straight every sound from my computer was going to the desktop. And I had also played with OBS before where it would just do any full screen game, and I didn't want to do that. I was like, okay, so I'm going to mess with it and have a specific setting for WoW, a specific setting for any other game and thing like that. So I was messing with it, and just all the volumes were so wonky, and like Discord was super loud, or Skype, whatever I was using, was super loud. And like I always listen to music when I play games, so Chrome is where I play all my music out of, was extremely loud compared to everything else, but in my headphones it was fine. I was just like, what the heck? I ended up looking up on YouTube and downloading a virtual audio meter and a virtual audio router. The meter, I ended up giving myself a virtual cable out, so it was basically a different audio output that my computer quote unquote thought was there, and then I told Chrome to go to that and then routed that back into my headphones so I could hear it, but the Twitch stream wouldn't pick it up on my desktop audio. And that's like something I'm kind of like fiddling with, whether or not I want to throw that into the stream, because I know a lot of streamers do that. They have music just going over their stream so you can like listen to it faintly in the background. But it's like, I don't listen to it because I want people to listen to it. I listen to it because I want to listen to it.
Yeah, and sometimes your audience might not have the same interest. And like, I know sometimes if there's not music playing, I'll have my own music playing in the background so that way I can hear it while I'm watching somebody stream.
Exactly, yeah. And it was also really weird because I went off of someone's suggestions for the voice program and for OBS for frequency on the audio, or I should say the output for it, I guess recording or whatever. But apparently it messed up the software with my Logitech headset. I set the frequency too high, and it completely disabled surround sound and inverted left and right. Oh. So I'm playing Overwatch, I'm playing Vermintide, I'm playing all these games, like especially with Vermintide. It's like, kind of think of Left 4 Dead, kind of. You gotta like just kill things and go through a level and fight a boss. It's audio centric, like things will sneak up behind you and smack you, and you have to listen for audio cues for like assassins and stuff like that. And like I hear my allies talking like over like front left in front of me, like in my earphones, but they're actually right and behind me.
Wow.
Or like normally assassins will whisper and you'll hear it, and I hear it behind me, so I turn around and there's nothing there. And then the assassin's actually jumping on my friend who was before in front of me. So I was just like, what the heck is going on? And I got so mad. And I went probably for like an hour all over Google trying to figure it out. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I switched so many settings. And then there was one comment, I want to say it was on Reddit somewhere, who had the same headset and they complained about it. And they said, change the frequency down one step. And immediately it worked. And I was just like, why? They said it was because of the Logitech software. So if anybody is streaming with Logitech software, let me know and I can help you out if you have issues with audio.
Yeah, that's the bane of like both the podcasting and streaming is the audio. And it's like, it should work. It should work fine. If I could show like my screen right now with all the audio routing I have on both computers, the Twitch one's a little bit easier. I'm just pulling out the audio from Discord. But on my main computer, I've got everything going to different places. I first was routing the audio to a recorder, but when I used my program it's called Audio Hijack, to hijack the audio, it would never play to my headphones. So I have to play the audio to my headphones as well as playing it to the file. And then I have to also play it again to Discord. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely something I have to start working with. And like the one thing I didn't think about at first was like bots, mods, and then like eventually I will probably muster up and get a face cam. I just, at this point in time, don't care to. But like also like when somebody subs and somebody follows and like all those automatic notifications, it's like, I'm pretty sure there's programs to do it, but I have no idea where to start. And I'll probably find it somewhere. Because like one streamer that I know of that I can think of that I like watching and I actually enjoy sitting down and watching is I'm a Cutie Pie. He's a League of Legends streamer, and he has got like all this stuff set up, and he has a YouTube channel though as well as Twitch, and he has someone who records his Twitch stream and then makes YouTube videos and edits and everything. And I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to get there yet, but it's a good idea to kind of see where I want to go from, I guess I should say.
Oh yeah, I was watching ABonusLevel, who's Bartholomew and CPR.
I was actually talking to him about that too as well.
He has an amazing setup. I was watching his stream. I was like, he has like things doing all this fun stuff, and like he was saying like what he has on his stream deck. I'm like, that's really cool, and he has it all like ready to go for stuff. I was using Streamlabs for the on-screen notifications. I don't have it set up for the podcast just because when I'm doing it, the podcast is the main content, but when I get back into game streaming, I need to set up Streamlabs again. And I had it all on my other program. Then when I moved to OBS, I have to relearn OBS and get it to work.
Yeah, I've played around with it enough. It's not, OBS isn't bad.
No.
I've played with a couple other programs. Like one that somebody suggested was, it was one of my coworkers, and I don't know if he does a whole lot of it. It's like, just use the Shadow Play with your NVIDIA card. I'm like, okay, but does it offer as much customization as OBS? And he said, no. I'm just like, then why would I use it?
The one that I want to look at once I finally get a streaming PC is XSplit. Pat Crane uses XSplit to run the Convert to Raid streams and also the stuff that he does for the games. And XSplit looks like it has a lot of really good stuff. I have not used XSplit. I've used Wirecast and Game Show. Right now I'm on OBS just because it's the only thing that works with Stream Deck.
Okay, I'll have to look at that too.
XSplit's not free, but I know a lot of people who enjoy it. There's like camps who like OBS, camps who like XSplit. Only reason I'm in an OBS camp right now is, again, it works with the Stream Deck. If Game Show added Stream Deck support, I might look at Game Show again. Yeah, it's always a tinkering, and streaming's probably never a done deal. And it'd be amazing to see with the big streamers out there how much of their time is spent experimenting and trying stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing is that I have to try and figure out what I want to do and like try different things. The two main things I need to figure out is one, the time that I can stream. At least I'd say for myself, one day I know I'm going to stream every week. And then the second thing is what I want to stream.
Yeah.
Because I've done some WoW. I've done some Vermintide too, which is, it's still a really fun game, but I can only sit down and play that game for so long. It's like beating your head against a brick wall because there's some times where you're just not going to progress. And then League of Legends. I've been playing that game for a very long time now, and I just recently started getting back into it after, I want to say, like 6 months or so, maybe to a year, like of actively playing it. And I'm having a lot of fun with it again, which is weird, and I don't know how I feel about that because I told myself I didn't like the game anymore, but now I do. I think it's because I don't get tilted as much, and I don't care if I win as much.
Yeah, and that could definitely be a good thing when you don't care, but you're just having fun.
Exactly. It's like that's the other thing is I don't want to be like, oh, I'm mad on stream all the time. I don't want people to see that. I mean, like, by all means, they can see all attitudes of me. I just don't want them to see me always playing League and always getting mad or always getting upset.
But I mean, I've heard some of those raid streamers get a lot of good money. So
I know, like Tyler One, I think he's hilarious. Or like XQC. I mean, he's funny, but when he gets mad, I think it's funny.
But some of them definitely play it for the camera.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that do, and it's like, I don't know if I'm going to do that.
The one that I also like is just one, I don't remember their name, but they have a character and a persona when they're on stream. So they're not actually who they are.
Does he play PUBG? He's got the glasses and the mustache?
Maybe. Oh, and I'm also thinking of Bennyfits.
Yeah.
Zephyriah introduced me to them. It is somebody that has set it up where they're playing the game. They have a puppet in one hand, and the puppet is talking in their real time with their voice. You would think that they would have like an issue when they're playing of like only having one hand, but no, they're like clobbering people in these like first-person shooters, and yet it's almost like the puppet is playing. It would be like if Jim Henson was on Twitch.
I would pay to see that.
Yeah.
How dare you take my gun?
Wow. We need to see Muppets on Twitch now. That has to be a thing that happens.
Muppets on Twitch.
Yeah. Very cool on the Twitch. Are you enjoying the streaming other than like the audio setup and stuff like that?
Yeah, other than getting it started, which was like, it wasn't terrible. It was fine. But yeah, I mean, I think at the most I've ever had was like 5 viewers or so. So I can't say that like I'm like directly interacting with Twitch chat, which I would love to. But I haven't experienced the full aspect of streaming, because at this point, like I was saying earlier, it's me streaming like me playing a game with friends, or me sitting on WoW doing nothing while talking to people. Like, it's not like something that everybody be like, oh yeah, MetalXperl, he's playing Fortnite, he's winning, he's getting victory royales every game. No, I'm not there yet. Maybe it will, but it's not getting there now. But I'm waiting for it. You know, I'm okay if I get there.
Yeah, and every streamer starts somewhere. So yeah, it's keeping at it. It's keeping that passion. Oh, and you need to get somebody like Drake on.
There we go.
It was like over 500,000 people.
Yeah, that was insane.
I'm amazed Twitch servers could handle that many people. Interesting thing on Twitch while we're on here, it's kind of a side tangent. It's amazing. Twitch is really beginning into things like when they had the talk between North and South Korea. They actually streamed it on the front page of Twitch. And it's like, it makes sense. It's where a lot of gamers are hanging out. It's getting news out to people. I'm like, it's really cool seeing Twitch being a platform, not just for games. Like, I've seen news stations using Twitch to stream. It shows Amazon is doing something right with Twitch if it's being used by a lot of places.
That's interesting. I didn't know that they did news and stuff like that. I mean, I knew they did other things other than games. I just didn't know they did news or anything like that.
The Washington Post, which is owned by Amazon, well, technically owned by Jeff Bezos, but probably is in like the Amazon conglomerate, has a Twitch stream that they do, and they will stream stuff. So they were streaming some news, and it was like, for me, Twitch, I'm still used to Twitch as like that gaming stream platform, but it is definitely gone past it. Like, Rift Tracks will stream stuff live. I know for a while they had the Mystery Science Theater 3000 streams, and like I don't know if it's still up there, but they have the Bob Ross streams, the Mr. Rogers streams. It's amazing to see it becoming a platform that, it sounds weird to say it's on Twitch because that's not like a game stream, but it's really becoming a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, like even like Twitch IRL, where people are just like running around doing nothing, or like, you know, just going around town and stuff like that. You'll see that all over Twitch as well. So it's not just for what we saw it to be anymore.
Yeah.
Well, enough about me. Let's go on to you, Frasley. How have you been this week?
Oh, I've been great. Started a new course on Monday. It's Essentials of Speech. So basically public speaking.
Oh, yeah. I've had one of those courses. I loved that course, honestly. That was probably one of my favorite college courses.
And one of the cool things is it's using text from the Public Speaking Project, which you can find on publicspeakingproject.org. The reason I bring that up is the text, it's a free textbook on public speaking. There are some great pointers that I'm like finding in different things. And for anybody who's doing anything, it's an amazing study into like audience analysis, a study into how do you prepare a speech. And I'm only about 5 modules in, but I'm really enjoying it. It's some information I've already heard before, but it's validating what I've heard and adding to it.
Yeah, there was a lot of different things just for like speaking and stuff. And since like most of my job is communicating with people, I feel like it helped out a lot. But also, and a funny side note, that was one of my first professors, and like a wave, which was weird, that said Wikipedia is now a good resource. And I was just like, you're kidding, right? Because like every week we would have to go in and like do a speech about convincing people like different topics and stuff like that, and different strategies and stuff. And he's like, yeah, you guys can use Wikipedia, it's fine. I'm just like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, the Wikipedia Foundation has done an amazing job at moderating pages, so that way it's not just anybody editing. Because I remember in the beginning, that's what everybody always joked
that's
about.
what it used to be. As long as you can make an account, you can log in and edit stuff. But I mean, it's like, even like nowadays, it's like whether it's like something like Overwatch, or if it's something like, you know, Donald Trump's lifestyle, you know, the people that care about it will put their effort in to close it up or, you know, fix it and make it right.
Yeah, and they have some good guidelines. I know there's always politics, not like Republican versus Democrat politics. I know there's always politics in any organization, and I've seen like that they've had their fair share of politics between moderators, but they've really done a good job at least trying to really create a free access to information. I admit I go to Wikipedia for a lot more. I like being able to see what the source is, so that way I can verify stuff.
Know where it's from, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember one of my papers had to do APA, and they said when they're doing that one, they've actually added a date of access for things like Wikipedia. So that way, if it changes from when you submit your paper, they know when you accessed it on that day, it was that text, and then you don't get dinged for adding something to your paper that then is changed when you go there.
APA is one of my favorite writing formats. I learned it in high school because one of my teachers pushed it really hard for all of us to learn it, and now it's like second nature now. And it really is gotten a lot better over the years.
I prefer MLA because I understand it better, but yeah, learning APA is great. For me, I like the narrative styles and stuff like that, so MLA is the one that I definitely want to use going forward. And pro tip for anybody going into college, have a copy of Office, either buy the standalone Office or buy the subscription, because it helps a lot with academics. If you're using the standard of Office, I tried using like Pages and Google Docs. There could be formatting issues.
It depends, because like I know with my university, you can get a subscription for free.
Okay.
And most universities offer it now, where as long as you're a student, you'll continue to get a subscription.
That's cool.
Now at 365 compared to like home and business, home and student, you'll have access to like the cloud storage and everything with it. It's just they keep paying for its university, quote unquote, but it's just 365.
Well, it makes sense. Get people hooked on Office, and then once you're out of college,
yeah, I need to go in and get it again. Exactly. Yeah.
It's the same thing with like the Spotify stuff. Like I'm going to be enrolling into university, and I realized I'll be able to get like Spotify student.
There's a student subscription to Spotify?
Yeah, you have to have a .edu and prove that you're in a university, but you can get a student subscription, and then they can also bundle Hulu in with it as well.
Oh my God, you're kidding. Oh my God, I need to do that now. I pay for Hulu.
And Dropbox gives you space too if you tell them about your university. There's a lot of good stuff you can get, and I think Adobe Creative Cloud has a student subscription as well.
Yeah, the Creative Cloud, you get like, I think it's like a discount on the Creative Cloud stuff. I used that for one of the classes that my wife had. She didn't understand it. She's like, just do this for me. So every Sunday I'd sit down and do her InDesign homework or Photoshop homework, and learned a lot about those programs.
They're really good. Like I use Adobe Audition. I was in Photoshop today working on some stuff. I like Adobe stuff, and I know that saying that as a Mac, you have like Aperture and Final Cut. Yep, I use Adobe. People tell me about Logic Pro, and I tried using Logic Pro to edit podcasts, and like, I'll just go back to my Adobe Audition. But yeah, and enough of that tech software stuff. Last Saturday was Volunteer Guard Day, and I decided to help out in the Stormwind, and I was a guard for a day. I think I defended against 10 people, because then I had to go to a family dinner. But it was actually a pretty fun event, and you got like a buff, and whatever guard you saluted in different cities, you took on their appearance. I like these events. I do agree it'd be kind of nice to get things like the titles you get, be fun to get them permanently, but it's at least a fun thing to make the world feel alive.
Yeah, I did it on my warrior. It was okay. Because it was on my priest. We were sitting there, and it's like, okay, Volunteer Guard Day. Okay, I walked up to a guard, and I was an Orgrimmar, and saluted him, and I'm like, okay, so what do I do? And just randomly, stuff just pops out of nowhere, and I was like in some like secluded little corner somewhere, so like it happened every couple of seconds. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be a better way to do this. So I fly up and go to like the main, like right in front of the main hall in Org where the war chief usually sits, and there's just a crowd of people just killing him constantly. I'm just like, okay, that's where I need to go. And I looked it up, and I'm just like, okay, so there's titles, but they don't matter. But I was like, you know what, I might as well. And I got all the way to 300. It's like 250 or 300 or something like that is where the last title is, and I got it, and it was cool.
Well, very cool. And it's fun because then you feel like you're defending the city. And I saw like, I think Shatrath had one, Darnassus had one, Ironforge had one.
I'm pretty sure every major city has it. Like, there's at least one major city in every expansion has the defender thing.
Except Nomergon.
Oh yeah, not Nomergon. Yeah, I mean, maybe Blizzard should work on that. Cough. But I was sitting there, and somebody walked up, and it said, "What's the point of doing this? The titles don't last." And I'm like, there is no point. Just shush and do it.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun because it breaks up the monotony of the game. It makes you feel like there's a day that just randomly happens. And that's one thing reading some of these audiobooks on MMOs. I do want some more of that spontaneity. And I'm kind of the Skyrim or Oblivion. And you just randomly go somewhere, and it's something that happens one day. And I think even Morrowind had like festivals depending on what day you're in. And it was interesting having things change.
They had a couple of things like that in Oblivion. I didn't play a lot of Morrowind, sadly. I played it for about 5 minutes on my original Xbox, and then the disc just stopped working.
Oh, and Morrowind Xbox, if you ever do get it back up on the Game of the Year edition, my human name is in the credits for Morrowind Xbox.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it needed game data from Morrowind, the regular version, to transfer over to Game of the Year edition to make sure it transferred over. I sent in my save file, and they then put my name in the credits.
That's really good. That's cool. I didn't know that they did that.
I was scouring the Bethesda forums, and that's how I found it. And I can't find a copy of the credits for Morrowind Game of the Year edition. If anybody sees Morrowind Xbox Game of the Year edition credits, please just send it over to me. It would make me all giddy to see my name in. Thundi is now level 71.
There you go. You're getting there.
I'm almost 80 because then I go into Cataclysm and Pandaria content. I'm over in Icecrown, kind of just enjoying the zone. This is stuff I didn't really do back when it was current because I wasn't playing the game when it was current. And it's fun seeing some of the quests they have here. Yeah, definitely go into Wildhead for a lot of stuff because some of it gets confusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of the quests that I have done, which is weird because I don't have Lore Master for some of those zones. But I'm just like, yeah, I remember doing a lot of these quests.
And there's some really good lore in some of these things. I mean, it's...
Yeah, like Icecrown, like I should say the whole Wrath of Lich King expansion, those storylines, that was one of my favorites. And you said you're in Icecrown right now?
Yeah.
The zone, I should say. Okay, yeah, that was a really good storyline. Have you gotten to the Wrathgate yet?
Not yet. I'm currently clearing out this one town of some of the Vrykul.
Save your tears for the Wrathgate.
Oh, I'm not prepared.
You are not prepared.
Moving into main topics, Activision was not prepared for the fact that they released their first quarter financial report, and they had this quote: Blizzard had 38 million monthly active users, and World of Warcraft overperformed versus the prior expansion at this point in time, with higher engagement sequentially and strong community participation within game purchases. Pre-orders for the upcoming expansion, Battle for Azeroth, are ahead of plan.
There we go. And so that's what I want to hear, that they have everything ready before they need to have it ready.
Yeah, and that it's doing better than they expected, which is really good, especially with some of the drop after Warlords. But I think Legion was a very strong expansion, so I think people stayed, and people are coming back too because they hear about Battle for Azeroth. And we got some more news from Warcraft devs on Twitter about prestige level merging. They said in a tweet that in Battle for Azeroth, all your prestige levels are going to merge. So if you have 3 characters who reach prestige 4 in Legion, your account will be set to prestige 12 in Battle for Azeroth. And they had a correction on this. They said the merge will be to honor earned account wide. So 2 characters at exactly prestige 1 will not result in prestige 2 after the merge, but you also don't have to finish a prestige level for that honored account.
So is it kind of like if you get level 7 and you get level 3.5 going to 4, you'll get level 12 or 11 out of it?
I think so. But then that's confusing because if they have 2 prestige, you won't get prestige 2. Oh, honor, total honor. Okay. And prestige level 2 takes more honor than prestige level 1. So you will get probably like prestige 1.5. Okay. That's pretty cool.
So the experience you need will go towards it, not necessarily the level themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the last update, they had the PAX East event. They said that there will be no cap to prestige. So this is definitely good to hear. And that it's good to hear if you weren't all the way to prestige somewhere, it'll still count. You won't lose any honor when you go forward. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the account prestige because then I'll be more willing to try PvP on different characters.
Yeah, to do PvP on whoever. Like, oh, if I want to heal, it's like, well, I have to do all this when I'm already this so far in my main.
Because like that's one of the fun things about Heroes right now. When you play it, you can try different things. I've not played it recently, but it's fun when you do that. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, this character's over here, but that they're all accounting to something. And I like the idea. It's almost like Overwatch because each character in Overwatch is a different character, but your overall account keeps going up in level. Yeah,
it has an account level as well as your, well, it's not really experience. It's like your hours is, I guess, how people base it. But yeah, it's pretty much a leveling experience. But what's cool with Overwatch, I guess it's kind of similar to like the honor, is like when you're lower, it levels faster, but when you're higher, it levels slower. And then when you prestige, quote unquote, when you hit 100, that's when it goes back to 1, and then you level up faster, getting more loot boxes.
And do you get anything stats-wise in Overwatch?
Oh, like, do levels give you anything extra? No. Everybody is the same.
Okay, so it's a way to earn more loot boxes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you can get more cosmetics, and that's what I really like about Overwatch is there's no, like, pay-to-win aspect, or, like, it's like the pros are the pros at this game because they're good, not because they have better gear than you, because they've gone through 20 bazillion raids in Mythic and they've gotten all the right gear and things like that, or, you know, they've bought all the PvP gear. Like, it's because they're good at the game.
And, like, even loot boxes, you don't have to pay for those because, like, you can do the arcade mode in Overwatch, and each week you can get more loot boxes just by completing the arcade.
Exactly.
Oh, very cool. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see where Honor goes. I'm going to be the greedy gnome and ask for account-wide rep. But
oh my gosh, I don't know if they do that. That'd be you just blew my mind. Would they combine it, or combining it? I would say no. But if they told me that they would make it account-wide, but they were pushing everything back down to 0, I'd be okay with that.
Okay, yes.
I would be completely okay with that. Like, hey, you can get account wide, but we're knocking everything back down to 0.
I'd be fine with that too. And then I could see, like, in the case of, like, how they did, like, the Paragon chest for emissaries. That
exactly. So it's just even easier.
Well, no, what I would say is once you get to Exalted on a character, anything past that is per character. I would be okay with that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can see that the Paragon. Yeah, I forgot that even existed, to be honest.
And that's a mechanic that I could see them bringing back in Battle for Azeroth, because there's a lot of stuff Battle for Azeroth that we still don't know. But one thing we do know...
Shot.
Tiran Druid travel form has been unveiled.
Wicker Elk.
I have to say that the Tiran is my favorite Druid form, and...
Probably gonna change my Druid to a Tiran because it looks so good.
And you can modify the body type on the Tiran. And did you see the Tiran heritage armor? That looks so amazing.
Yeah, the leather, it looks really nice.
And added like pirate hat, have like a pirate druid. Call down the forces of nature.
I need to take my rogue into Mythic Tomb so I can get the pirate hat, the tricorn hat.
Oh yeah, I need to do that. I've got the Bloodseal hat because I worked on the rep with that. Because like I'm thinking of like Thunda's like a Bloodseal pirate. And the only thing I'm going to make sure to do is I'm going to level a Tiran from 20 to 120 to get the armor for leveling. Yeah, this travel form looks really cool. And Blizzard added another fun thing. Travel forms are now separate buttons on the BFA beta.
Really?
The fun about that is we'll be able to glyph different travel forms now with different things.
So I wonder if that means it doesn't interact the same as it would before?
Oh, I would hope it would interact the same way, because it is nice to be able to be somewhere.
And just, go into a different form, yeah.
Oh, okay. While the general shape-shifting button remains that automatically transitions between forms, this is from Wowhead, flying and running will allow players to apply multiple glyphs. So they'll show up in your spell book.
Oh, okay.
And you still have the very cool automatic transition. Good.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I've always noticed is if I go travel form and I have flying available, I'm going in flight form. When I'm sometimes I don't want to go in flight form because I don't need to fly 2 feet to kill something.
Yeah. So I'm finding, I know you might get better speeds in mount form. I'm typically just using the travel form on my Druid.
Oh, yeah. So if you have the guild mount speed, that's the only thing you don't get while in travel form. Other than that, everything else is the same.
Okay, cool.
Because technically it's not a mount, it's just your travel form. But your buying mount speed bonuses that you get count. If you have the spurs and it's like a bear claw or something that let you interact and also fight while on a mount. Well, fighting doesn't matter, but interacting with stuff you can still do on travel form anyways. And
yeah, it's so much faster than going into mount form. Being a druid is amazing. I know I'm a gnome warrior.
It is very convenient.
I see why people like being druids, because I'm having so much fun on my druid.
Move around a lot. You get to be all 4 types of classes. Do whatever you want. See, that's one thing I'm really wondering how it's going to happen is how alt-friendly is BFA going to be? Honestly, I thought Legion was really alt-friendly because of the artifact weapons.
Yeah.
Straightforward. Because you have a weapon you don't have to worry about.
From what I understand with the necklace, because everything's going to the necklace, it'll be pretty easy. You're not having to go into different weapons. The only tricky thing will be like the Azerite armor, because apparently you can spec your Azerite armor different things. I'm still kind of fuzzy on all the Azerite.
Yeah, and I guess you don't have beta access either, do you?
No, I've been I keep checking, but nope, still don't have it yet.
Yeah, I don't have it either, which is odd. But maybe one day. Or honestly, I'm actually kind of glad that I don't have access to it, so I don't spoil anything.
Yeah, if I get it, I will definitely play it because I want to be able to help give feedback and report on it. But until I get it, I'm going to enjoy it live, and I'm going to enjoy getting glimpses and pieces from it. A couple of things are changing. We talked about PvP earlier. The Battleground changes. In the Q&A, they asked about, is Ashran being retired in BFA? And they said right now, Ashran is being retired, but it is possible that Ashran could end up in the Epic Battlegrounds bucket. And then after last week's show, it came out that Strand of the Ancients Battleground is being removed in Battle for Azeroth as well.
Yeah, there's Ashran, Strand of the Ancients, and then I want to say another one, Alterac Valley. They're going to rework/fix. I mean, not necessarily rework, but they're going to make it and put it into a 40-man bucket. At least that's what I think I heard on Azeroth Roundtable. At least either that's what they were wanting to do, or like that's what I think it was John said that they wanted them to do, or if that's what they were going to do. But I think that'd be a really good idea to make those specific ones into a separate bucket for like 40-man. It just makes it easier. But something there I also heard that they're getting rid of is ignore, like the ignore list.
Yeah.
Ignore this battleground, ignore that battleground. It's like, well, we're changing it so you don't have to ignore it anymore. It's like, that's not the reason why we were going to ignore it.
I think it's cool what they are doing. The fact that you can decide if you want a short battleground, go for the one. But if you want a little bit more, go for the epic. And from what I understand, Alterac Valley and one other one is going to the epic battlegrounds. Yeah, Ashran and Strand are the ones that I've heard are being retired for right now. Probably being reworked, probably doing a lot of things. And definitely get any achievements for those that you want. Whenever I did Strand of the Ancients, we never won because it always seemed lopsided. Now, I've heard from people that if you're playing Horde, it always seems like Alliance win. If you're playing Alliance, it always seems like Horde wins. So I think it's perception.
And it also depends on the map, too, because there's certain, like, attacking, defending, or, which side, who has control of what, that really can really turn the tides in the battle. But I've noticed most of the time, Horde loses. Probably because I'm playing. Yeah,
and whenever I'm playing, Alliance loses.
Yeah, I can't do PvP at all. I suck at it. I just can't, and I don't know why.
I enjoy doing it just because it's kind of fun doing something different. I also like when it's with a guild, because then it's the most fun. You can ignore the people in raid chat who are saying mean things, and you can just have a good time. And it's also nice when you have people saying, hey, like, stables need help, or this needs help, then you're able to better coordinate.
Exactly.
And another good reason why it's good to coordinate, shot from Alessander, there was an article in Reuters about a World of Warcraft LARP.
Ooh.
Or at least it was pictures. But what was cool is it kind of combined cosplay with RP. There's like a panda, there's a orc, and there's just like a lot of fun stuff. I've never done LARPing. I've always wanted to because it sounds like a fun thing. You just using your imagination and stuff like that, but like they were in a field. World of Warcraft LARPing.
You got to find a really good group. I've done it once, and it wasn't bad to say the least. But you really have to find a really good group of people that like to have fun with it.
It's like those like Civil War reenactments, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's really similar to that.
So you probably have to have somebody who can be kind of your game master.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a mediator.
So I will have pictures of this in the show notes because it's pretty cool looking at some of the stuff they do. And this was in Prague. Just fun seeing people adapting World of Warcraft to different things. So thank you, Alessandra, for that. World of Warcraft has a guided tour of the Zandalari capital, Zuldazar. It looks really cool. It's one of those, if I had more time, I would definitely play a Horde character because I like some of the motif that I'm seeing of Zuldazar.
The one thing I would suggest is do one of each solely for the story. Just so you can see it. You don't have to play it. You don't have to do it at endgame. Just level it through the content so you can see it.
Yeah, I did that with my mage. I leveled it to the horde content. It was fun seeing.
Yeah, your orc mage that you betrayed us with.
If it wasn't for the posture change that we didn't know was coming, it would have stayed. But I used my 110 boost on a Tiran warrior. So I've hopefully redeemed myself.
There you go.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely going to, at some point when I get a little more time, play through the horde. Because, yeah, I'm liking the contrast on both continents. It's fun seeing what they're doing with it. And like what they're trying to build in. And you look at the screenshots of Zuldazar, there's a lot of really good stuff. Ooh, and like rhinos and hippos. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, all the dinosaurs are going to be a really cool change that we've been... Like, I think the last time I've seen, at least personally, I think we've seen anything like that was like Zul'Aman. And that was kind of... I mean, not really, but it kind of was there.
Yeah, and I see like a Aztec or Mayan feel to it.
Yeah, they said it was supposed to be a Mayan area.
The only ruins I've been to is I went to the Tulum ruins on a trip years ago.
Okay.
It was cool seeing those. But yeah, I'll have a link in the show notes to these. And you brought up an article from Wowhead about the discussion surrounding high elves.
Yeah, so I think it was really cool for the idea of it at the very least. So I think somebody tweeted at Ian and Josh during the Q&A about high elves, and Ian just kind of brushed it off real quickly like, well, if you think about it, blood elves are high elves. It blew my mind at first because then I went on a YouTube rant and I saw a couple of different lore stuff, and like I would agree that Ian is not wrong. Blood elves are high elves because there's like a whole like trickle down of where high elves were, and then he broke it off with night elves and then like Nightborn, and then how it like all broke around, and it's like there's like the 1% of the 1% of the 5% is blood elves, but it's still different because blood elves were corrupted by the Sunwell when high elves were still, I guess it was with the first world tree, and they were there for that. Like that was their source of power. I think it'd be cool to add, like with the Silver Covenant that was there for Risa. It'd be cool that they would be an allied race just because it's technically a different race, but it's just not necessarily the model you're after. Like it would be with like Zandalari or Dark Iron or anything like that. Like people want to play it, one for the story but also for the model, but in this specific instance it's all for the story and the backing and like the lore for it. It'd be like, I'm a Silver Covenant paladin and I'm a high elf, and like you could build a lot of different story off of that rather than just playing a blood elf and trying to work around it that way.
And one of the things I'm seeing the arguments against them is that high elves are right now already using blood elf models. But I want to bring up the argument that Sylvanas, before there were blood elves, was using a night elf model. So just because we're seeing high elves right now using blood elf doesn't mean they couldn't go back and change them.
Exactly.
I believe the Magar orcs are being modified in the game to look like the new allied race.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't have access, so maybe I could probably talk to one of my friends and see if they noticed it. But that's something really cool. Like, and that's one thing that I noticed. I guess one example is with war chiefs. Every time we got a new war chief, their model, if they had like a model or a part in any of the storyline anywhere in the game, they went back and gave them updated models, like Garrosh.
Ooh.
I mean, it's kind of with Garrosh. He got introduced into Cataclysm with a lot of his stuff. But like you'll see, it's the same model throughout his entire storyline, no matter where it was at, whether it was Draenor or anything. It got updated to the same model. Same with Vol'jin. You see his model in Zul'Aman, and it's the same as it is in Broken Shore, or at least to me it looks like it is. It may be a little off, but like even Sylvanas, her storyline in Stormheim, in that little lower area where you see her, is the same model if you go back and do the Undead starting zone in Silverpine. I think it's right, yeah, Silverpine is right after it, or if I'm wrong, please someone in Twitch or Discord or later say something to me. Her model is exactly the same. She's sitting on her horse. Garrosh comes and says, "What are you doing?" She's the same model.
And Gallywix has a new model that they added in one of the 7 point. So Gallywix probably has a story coming up in the BFA if they're giving him a model already.
Interesting. I'll have to go visit his little hut over there to see if, because I'm pretty sure he's got a hut right outside of, it's on the hill, and he's got a giant gold mine in his house. I'm trying to think of what it is. It's like a little resort. I'll have to go over there and see if he has his new updated model there.
It's either the 7-point models, or it could be the BFA. It's currently running together all this stuff because we haven't had a 7-point patch because we're already almost 8.0. Yeah, all this information coming out. I can't remember now what's where. and that's the only downside of me looking at all this information is I'll be like, oh, okay, this wasn't in the game already. I could definitely see the High Elves the same way that they brought in the Magar Orcs, because even Wildhead said that the Magar Orcs are similar to the Orc raids. They're just uncorrupted by the Fel. And they're talking about how High Elves are uncorrupted Blood Elves. So I think it's one to watch, and it's one that if it's coming out like this, Blizzard may listen to the feedback, and people have brought up some really good points on why they could work. And even Taliesin and Evantel, they have a video that's on their YouTube and also linked in the Wowhead article. Our next topic is the Emerald Nightmare full clear solo by a single class. So Shoot is a BM hunter, and I believe this was normal. They cleared everything. Definitely amazing that they soloed all of Emerald Nightmare.
It doesn't surprise me a whole lot, because I walked into a Mythic Emerald Nightmare a couple of weeks ago on my Priest, and I solo healed it, and it was like a group of 10 or something, and we might have had 2 tanks. I think most of the fights we only had 1 tank, but I solo healed it, and I honestly didn't have to heal a lot. And it was Mythic, so seeing somebody walk into a normal with a raid and do it doesn't supremely surprise me. The only thing you'd really have to worry about are the taunt swap mechanics, and like the tank mechanics are the things that would probably screw you over the most rather than anything else.
Well, it brings up the point that we are 140 eye levels higher, and the artifact has about 60 more traits than when they introduced Emerald Nightmare.
Yeah, it's so weird, because I remember going into that, like, just because I started when Legion started it, and it was so fun to start out, and like now that it's over, I'm just like, wow, because this was my first like delve into endgame in WoW, and it was just, well, other than a little bit in Draenor, but not as much, but it's just like surprising. I remember like the 3rd week that Emerald Nightmare came out, I got my first legendary dropped from Ursoc.
Oh, very cool.
And then we're going to have to destroy them. I'm going to cry.
Oh, yeah. They found that at level 116, your legendary no longer works.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I think I'm going to keep all my legendaries. Screw you, Blizzard. I don't want to delete them. And, like, unless you give me, like, dust to make new legendaries, I'll do that. Treat it like Hearthstone.
I'm going to delete all my legendaries because I need the bank space. I need to sell a lot of stuff.
I'm even half tempted to keep my set pieces. I still have my set pieces from Nighthold in my bank because I worked so hard to get them out of heroic Nighthold. And then I've got my set pieces from Taurus now as well that I don't really have equipped because they're lower. But
yeah, that's always the weird thing is we work hard on these items. And then we get them, and then we lose them. I mean, that's the nature of the MMO.
Or, like, I mean, at least with that, like, the biggest part is, like, oh, your artifact weapon, yeah, we're just going to have to destroy it. I'm just like, no, I love my World Breaker and my War Swords of the Valajar.
Yeah. Think about what Paladins feel like. They got the Ashbringer.
Ashbringer, I know. Ret Pally Jill has got to be so upset.
Now they're gone. Well, not gone yet, but they'll be gone.
She's got the transmog for Corrupted Ashbringer, though. Or she still has the original, I guess, Corrupted Ashbringer.
Well, and speaking of memories and things that are gone, Nickelodeon has been holding casting calls. I'll move us into geeky stuff. So, back in March, April, Nickelodeon held open casting calls for the new host of Blue's Clues.
Man, like, that show's been going on since before I remember that was one of my favorite shows when I was 3, and that was like 20 years ago. Yeah. And that show was going on before then. Sometimes you just need to let it die. Like, SpongeBob is still on. Like, really?
I watched Blue's Clues when I was probably a little older than I should have been watching it. I'll claim the young at heart defense. But that was a fun show. And, like, the way they bridged people and the things. And there was a really cool Blue's Clues video game. It was like an interactive movie. I mean, I know that they weren't new, but to me, they were new. And there was an episode of Blue's Clues, like 3 different ones on the thing. But what you did changed how it happened. And each time it was different. It was a humongous entertainment game. And those games were always fun because it was always different. But it was so cool to see like Steve on my computer screen talking to me. And I could like click on things and he would respond. So I was easily impressed, probably at like 7 or 8. I forget how old I was when I played that. Probably a little older than I should be admitting. But yeah, Sin was going to be on tonight as well, but they had a schedule conflict. Again, tonight's just corrupted by the void. There's just a lot of corruption. But they wanted to say, which of us would be a better host? Between the two of us, you could be a really good Steve. I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been, oh my God, it's been so long, but I'm sure it would like trigger like this hidden power in my brain. And I would just immediately just fall right back into the curve.
Here's the mail. It never fails. When it comes, makes me want to. I can't remember the whole song.
Yeah, my dad always makes fun of me for it whenever I see him every now and again. He's just like, oh, Blue's Clues. Well, not now, but, he would always make fun of me for it growing up.
But it was a cool show.
Yeah, it was. I think it was pretty cool. Educational, too. Well, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it made you think. Our handy-dandy notebook. What has 3 eyes? What goes... And what likes eating fish? Can we guess what it is? What was that? Murloc. Let's see. Let's draw. You're right. It is a Murloc. I had a handy-dandy notebook. I had everything. I mean, I also went to the Bear in the Big Blue House show at Disney, probably older than I should admit, when I went there and danced in the audience. Oh.
I see you're wearing your Ret Pally Jill shirt today. Or not Ret Pally, her band.
Yeah, Hope Diamond. And actually on the back.
Hope Diamond, yep.
It says Hope Diamond on the back. Grab your sword, fight the Horde.
That makes me so sad. Why are you so angry at me?
Because we want to take back Lordaeron.
I'm just an undead rogue. I'm just here. I didn't have anything to do with Lordaeron.
Okay.
I was a human until stinking Arthas came around.
I'll give you that. Yeah. Oh, and I wonder what's going on with Bolvar. I've been hearing some things that Bolvar is starting to be...
I feel like he's on a different path. I don't think he's on the let's purge. I think he's on a more of kind of a more honorable path for the Death Knights. At least that's what am going to think, what I think he's doing. Kind of what Sylvanas is doing. But I don't want Blizzard to make her another Garrosh. She's my favorite. It
is interesting. They said in the Q&A that evil is subjective.
Exactly. And that's one thing that kind of made me feel like that they're not going to be doing anything like that with either side. Saying that there really is no good and bad. It's just based on experience.
And what they do in the actions. And I like that. I like that it's not someone's bad or good because of their faction. It adds a lot more depth to the game. And you get to really think about what each side is doing. I mean, the Alliance has done stuff that's not been good. It's the same with the Horde. Both sides have done things that have not been good. And they've done great things as well. Like Anduin and Bane, I think, are really trying to work toward peace. We got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
So, did you know that there was a live-action Fairly Odd Parents movie starring Drake Bell?
Not until you posted it in Discord.
Have you seen any of it, or you haven't looked up on YouTube?
No, I haven't. But it is something now that I do know, I will look up.
I have not watched all of it, but I've started watching some of those reviews. I got into that YouTube rabbit hole that we were talking about earlier, and I couldn't get out, and then I finally did get out. And then in the same thing, did you know that Jimmy Neutron and the Fairly Odd Parents had 3 crossover movies?
I did know, and I have watched all 3.
Okay, because I had no clue. I loved Jimmy Neutron. I loved Fairly Odd Parents. I never knew that there were crossovers.
Yeah, those came out back when I did have cable the first time. But it'd be it's just like they do with anything else that's Disney, and they decide to make a special movie or anything. They'll showcase it for probably 2 or 3 weeks ahead, and then you watch it on the day.
Yeah, it was after it was big, but I remember Flintstones Meet the Jetstones, or not Jetstones, Jetsons.
The Flintstones Meet the Jetstones.
Yeah. That sounds like a Wayside. Oh, not Wayside Story, and that'd be Wayside School. West Side Story. I'm just
it's just one of those days. I understand.
Yeah, it's been a strange day, but Stranger Things 3 are also coming as well.
That's one series I never really got into. Maybe I will. For me, I feel like it's the same as Game of Thrones. I'm gonna not watch it until all the hype has gone down. I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until before season 7 came out, so this most recent season. I just binge watched and got caught up on it, and then watched it when it was live rather than watching it the whole time.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad till about the end of the 4th or 5th season. And like, I didn't watch Lost till the 6th season, and probably shouldn't have watched the 6th season because but Stranger Things is one. Definitely don't go into it thinking anything, just watch it. Because it took me a few months to finally sit down and watch it. Once you start watching it, you'll get hooked. April 20th, 2018, the cast sat down for a production meeting and read through the first scripts for the Stranger Things 3. They showed some names of cast members. I hope a character or two gets mentioned. And I won't say any more because I'm trying to be very vague. I don't want to spoil anything.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, Stranger Things 3, I'm excited for that. Well, and I also just heard that Series of Unfortunate Events Season 3 is scheduled for next spring, which sounds like a long time away, but really is. Yeah, and especially with the way Season 2 ended. I've read all the books, so I know how it goes. But even the series is taking a slight deviation from the books, but in a good way. And the author's writing the series. Con Before the Storm Kickstarter has been fully funded. Now, they made a change this year that World of Podcasts is a stretch goal, and they have to reach a certain point before they bring it out, because they did a panel last year. What I'm hearing, they want to give it the more attention that it deserves. And I think I was hearing that podcasters will be at the meet and greet at Con Before the Storm. But if they reach a funding goal, there will be a World of Podcasts convention / panel.
There you go, Frasley. Get yourself on that train.
Oh, yeah. Definitely support them. And yeah, 1 year I'd love to be there. The year I go to BlizzCon, I'm going to at least go to the Con Before the Storm if I can't make it to BlizzCon.
There you go.
What I love about the Con Before the Storm event is it's a way for creators to meet their fans. And it's a fun way to show people that creators are just like everybody else.
Just regular people.
Yeah, who have a passion for gaming, have a passion for what they do, but they also want to be your friend.
That's one thing that I've noticed since I've delved into the Twitter community with a lot of different podcasters and streamers and stuff. Like 2 examples, Teased and the Scruffy Druid.
Yes.
Like, they're always posting like regular human pictures that I would see like on Snapchat or whatever from my friends or, people that I know, of Book running around in circles and chewing on things. I'm just like, okay. And then like I'm looking at Twitter right now, and Teased is playing around on a bass guitar. And it's like, I didn't know she played bass guitar. I play bass guitar. Now we have common ground.
Yeah. And they started their podcast and streams just because they wanted to do it. And I mean, now they're popular, but they just started one day just doing it. Support Con Before the Storm if you can, just because I like seeing this event, and I like them having a place for people to meet. And if you're going to BlizzCon, just want to make you all aware that BlizzCon 2018 tickets go on sale Wednesday, May 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific and Saturday, May 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific. Blizzard has some great purchasing tips on their site, so definitely check them out ahead of time. If you can't get the tickets, because I heard they sell it pretty fast, they do have the lookingforblizzcon.com and different things. There's a lot of people who will sell tickets, and make sure when you do that you get the name transferred at the right time. But there are people who have done it a long time, so they know how to do it successfully. And yeah, definitely ask people like Madros and stuff like that, people who help get tickets to people who want to go. And Stone is doing another 24-hour stream to raise money for their walk for ALS. So the stream is going to be Saturday, May 12th from noon Eastern all the way through to Sunday. But they are already raising money for the walk. So definitely go out and support them. And then just keep in mind that Running of the Trolls 2018, which helps raise money for the Trevor Project, which provides support for people of the LGBTQ community. They're doing a troll run on June 9th, but they're already taking donations already for the Trevor Project. So yeah, definitely go out, support them. And at some point that night, I'm definitely looking to do a voice chat. Just depends on all the timing with family and stuff like that.
Sweet. I will absolutely be there. Wait, what day is that? Let me check.
Saturday, June 9th.
Saturday, June 9th. So that should be okay for that day. But yes, it'll be a good, fun time. We'll get all of our Frazzlecast community to come join us.
It'll probably be like 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern that day. I'll figure out stuff probably that day. So yeah, keep an eye out on the Tavern and Discord and also the Frazzlecast Twitter. Well, thank you all for coming tonight to Frazzlecast. And Metal, thank you for definitely coming out. I'm sorry that we had 2 guests that just due to different conflicts at the time weren't able to make it.
We're only human.
Yes.
I understand. I'm in the same situation sometimes.
Like I found out I won't be able to do 2 live shows in July because I'm going to be on vacation and I don't think I can get editing and recording time. So July 12th will be our last show for July. Then we'll have another show in August.
Okay.
And wow, that'll be after the 1-year anniversary of the show. Wow. Time flies. I've got 2 guests lined up for each week. 1 guest 1 week and 1 guest next week. Going to kind of do like a post BFA not post BFA, post Legion pre BFA. I'm already thinking to the next expansion because the next expansion is Reclaim Nomergon.
Yeah, I was watching, I think it was Bellular, and he's like, I know I'm a little ahead of myself, but, and he like did like all kinds of different stuff. He's like 9.0, and it was like kind of like a party went off. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of going over, but I'm kind of speculating what's going to happen for the next expansion. I'm just like, why? We don't even know.
But what's amazing is Blizzard probably already knows what's going to be in 9.0.
Yeah.
That's like the weird stuff. Like Tiran Gregory had all the cinematics ready before we ever saw the ending cinematics for Legion. I mean, it's just like, wow, what the devs must know.
It'd be cool to be a part of something like that, but it's just like, there's so much going into it.
Yeah. When having to keep it all secret. It'd be tough. But one thing that's not a secret, where can we find you, Metal?
You can find me on Twitter at MetalXperl, METALXPERL. You can also now find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/MetalXperl. When I find a good time to stream often, I will post it on Twitter and probably put it in my description on Twitch. But as of right now, I don't really know when I'll be streaming. Sometimes. Keep an eye on Twitter.
Very cool.
You can find me on Discord. If you have me added on Battle.net, you can throw me there. You can find me on the Frazzlecast Discord. Find me on the CTR Discord. You can also find me in Guild on CTR in-game. Just message me-ish, I guess, and I'll probably get it eventually. Or if you see me on, absolutely send me a message there when I'm playing on my Druid. Always free to do dungeons, free to do raids, really whenever, as long as it's like later in the evening. Usually after 9 p.m. Eastern. It's usually when I'm on. Some of us are night owls.
I used to be when I was younger.
What about you, Frasley? Where can everyone who is listening or watching find you?
You can find me at Frasley.com, on Twitter at Frasleytastic. You can find the show at Frazzlecast.com. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. Get in touch with us. We love to hear from you. You can email us at show@Frazzlecast.com. Leave a voicemail at either 1440-536-3711 or on our voicemail page at Frazzlecast.com/voicemail. You can tweet us at Frazzlecast, and you can also join our Discord at sparksband.com for discussion during the week. Going to promote the shirts again. I've got shirts at shirt.frazzlecast.com. I'm creating a fund for BlizzCon, so eyeing 19 or 20.
By then, maybe I'll join you as well.
Yeah! And have a Frazzlecast meetup at BlizzCon.
Hooray!
Over in the AIE Guild Hall, right? I mean, because there's the AIE Guild Hall, there's the Con Before the Storm, DitchCon from Pwnecast.
Or maybe even then we'll be able to go along for the CTR meetup as well.
Oh, yeah!
Because I know that people were posting in Discord about that as well.
Yeah, I've been hearing that about that will be coming out soon. Silverbolt's already on the party team, and they're getting things ready. So a lot of excitement about that. And I'm excited for the CTR party. Last year, I was too tired to catch the stream.
Yeah, I will hopefully grab my popcorn and my virtual ticket this year and watch from home.
Oh, that was fun last year. And like, there's so many cool like sessions. Like there was a cosplay session. But yeah, definitely catch the show live every Thursday at 6:15 Pacific, 9:15 p.m. Eastern at gnome.live. Or in the download every Monday. Until next week, be awesome.
Heroes never die.
And if they do, they go to the Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like Varian.
Vol'jin.
Yeah, Vol'jin. And does anybody consider Ragnos a hero? Maybe he's called.
I think I mean, have you played him in Heroes? He wrecks everything. I don't know, he got nerfed when he came out. Just like every other hero.
Yeah, they're OP and they start. I'm just still waiting for that next WoW mount. But yeah, good night, everybody.
Greetings, gamers. This is Mewcow, your guide in treating a common gamer condition called altitis. Unless you've learned engineering on every alt, let's discuss gearcraft professions. In Legion, the leatherworking, tailoring, and blacksmithing professions took a bit of a hit on their usefulness. The gear these professions make is easily outclassed the moment you hit max level, and can't be worn until then anyway. The only usefulness these gear pieces serve at this point in the expansion is their transmog looks. They are each worth getting to max profession level once, for things like mounts and toys, but you can drop the profession afterwards. They also all have collectible toys and other novelties, such as pet toys and the occasional social consumable, but their popularity doesn't match that of engineering items of similar make. Most of these consumables are also tradable, leaving little use of holding on to that profession beyond losing the time and effort getting there. It wouldn't hurt to have your less active alts keep one of each of these professions though, in case the next expansion changes things for the better. If you have questions, tips, or want to discuss a topic further, find us on Twitter at altitis.net, and show notes can be found on our website, altitis.net. On behalf of the Alt Army, we hope you find this information useful in the treatment of your altitis.
Ludra the Mage here.
And I'm Ben the Mage.
Okay, Ben, I have finished 27, 28, 29.
I'm sorry, you finished what now?
Pet projects! 27 was give pets jetpacks. Pet Project 28 was put ribbons on all the snakes. Project 29, pet family reunions, where I take each pet to exactly where I caught it back in the wild, so it can say hi to its family, and they can see how much better off he is.
Wait, how have you been doing all this stuff?
Oh, sleepless nights. Now, back to Project 30 is pet poo cycling, where we turn the pet poo into brown energy. That isn't going to be fun, so I'm thinking about skipping it and moving on to the list because it's really hands-on.
Okay, well, while Aludra keeps working on her checklist of fun stuff, make sure to check out episode 126 of Battle Pets, Pet Projects, where we discuss boss battles, beta updates, and some team building.
Okay, so the new Pet Project 30 is going to be pet waffles. Now wait, it's not what you think. It's what ingredients go into a waffle to be the most universally loved by all pets, no matter what their family.
Okay, Aludra, I really have no idea where you come up with this stuff.
It's easy. The pets, they talk to me.
Welcome to episode 37 of the Frazzle Report. I am Frazzly, and I'm here to deliver your weekly World of Warcraft news. May the 4th be with you. The past few years, we have seen Disney buying up many of our childhood memories. Seeing as today is Star Wars Day, we wanted to talk with you about a rumor we are hearing surfacing from our sources. There is a rumor that Disney is going to buy Blizzard. They see the power of the Overwatch universe being added to their Marvel universe. Imagine seeing Tracer, Iron Man, Thor, Bastion, Brigitte, and Hulk, just to name a few. Doctor Strange will be a very powerful support hero. Not to mention how Overwatch is at such a Pixar level of quality for their cinematics. You could see Wally as a new character in Overwatch. The possibilities are endless. StarCraft and Star Wars would work well together as well. Both are about space battles. With the galaxy far, far away, it could lead to rebels having to fight the Zerg. Diablo is the unknown in the mix. With how dark recent movies have become, this could work well with their strategy. Heroes would definitely become interesting. Imagine all the universes together in one place. This gnome is giddy with excitement at the prospect.
Hooray!
One game series we left out is Hearthstone and Warcraft. These two games share a similar universe. Where would they fit in all of this? For this discussion, we will kind of talk about World of Warcraft, but just know Hearthstone is in the mix. World of Warcraft has actually been more space-focused than we realize. With talk about the planet of Azeroth, Argus, the Gnomish and Goblin engineering, the Draenei with the Vindikar, and the Exodar, demons are technically space aliens. I'll probably get letters about some of my oversimplification of the lore, but continue down this path with me for a bit. The Force could be the magic presence we see all throughout Warcraft. The light, magic, fel, void. What if they are all connected in a way? What if the Horde and Alliance are actually very early ancestors of the Sith and the Republic/Empire? This brings us to the question then of which faction is the Rebels and which faction is the Empire. My biased self would say that the Alliance is the Rebels and the Horde are the Sith. But to be objective and journalistic, I will look at a stunning realization. Dark Iron Dwarves look very Sith-like, and the Void Elves call upon a very sinister power. The Alliance has chosen to align themselves with these races in the upcoming expansion. And they also have the mighty, imposing fortresses and cities all across Azeroth. As much as it pains me to say it, I almost think the horde of the rebels in the Alliance may eventually become the Empire. Only time will tell. Wow, this topic took a dark turn. But before we go, let me say the one great thing that would come out of this acquisition. A real-life Blizzard world! Disney would have the cash to do it and make it happen. Look at the awesome Star Wars land that they are opening at Disney World. Again, this is all rumors. And the only reason I bring this up is because of the date. Until we hear anything further, pretend that I made all this up to try and be relevant for the day. This has been the Frazzle Report. I am Frazzly Sparksman. You can find this show at frazzlereport.com. Until next week, be awesome. Hello?
Frazzly, you must join the Horde. You underestimate the power of the Horde side. They may be getting Vulpera.
The hype for BlizzCon 2018 has begun, and so has our planning for this year's Con Before the Storm.
Con Before the Storm will bring together fans and content creators for all of Blizzard franchises once again at the Anaheim Hilton on November 1st.
This is the largest Blizzard community-built event, and it's made possible thanks to everyone who supports our Kickstarter campaign, which is now live at conbeforestorm.com.
Our initial funding goal is $13,500, and we're confident we can hit that goal with the community's help.
As always, we plan to include meet and greet opportunities with dozens of content creators, including artists, podcasters, Twitch streamers, esports personalities, and much more.
Returning fan favorites that are already confirmed for this year include badge artist Egg Dishes and Tepish, as well as the return of shirt and button designer Nadia Lee.
Finally, it wouldn't be Con Before the Storm without World of Podcasts, which will be celebrating its 6th-year anniversary.
However, our plans for World of Podcast have grown, as have the costs to make it a reality, and we need your help to bring World of Podcast back for its best year yet.
Get ready for a great night of podcasting content should we hit our stretch goal of $24,500.
To learn more about our plans, stretch goals, and backer rewards, go to conbeforestorm.com and follow at conbeforestorm on Twitter for ongoing updates. See you at BlizzCon!
Frazzlecast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment. Views expressed by the host and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended.
Want more awesomeness every week? Visit weeklyawesome.com. Weekly podcasts to make your week better. Remember to smile and be awesome.